We're joined now by Charles Wood. He's a man who has known a bit of sacrifice because his son was Ty Woods, who died tragically in the Benghazi attack. Tell me a little bit about what Ty was doing, as far as you know, in Benghazi on the night of the attack.
Well, of course, Ty, he couldn't tell a lot about what he was doing when he'd go on these trips. He was retired from the Navy SEALs. He'd put in his 20 years, and he'd been out about 2 years when this happened. And when he'd leave, he'd usually say, well, I'm going on a business trip to the Middle East. On this particular occasion, I talked with him right before he left, and I tried to dissuade him. I told him he had a brand new baby at that time, and I tried to dissuade him, and I said, you know, for the 20 years that you were in the SEALs, I prayed for your safety, but I was never really worried about what was going to happen to you. I says, this time it's completely different. I wish that there was some way that you didn't have to go. And he said, Dad, I've already signed the papers. He says, I can't tell you who I'm working for, but it's someone from Washington, D.C., and they never like to lose anyone. Turned out to be the CIA, but that's about all I really know about what he was doing.
Now, you of course want to get information, but you've had a hard time getting it, right?
Well, I think not just the families, but the American public. We deserve to know the truth about what actually happened. And unfortunately, the White House administration comes out and they tell us one story, and then they tell us another story.
Were you there at the funeral? I'm guessing. Did you attend the funeral when the president attended as well with the Secretary of State?
Well, when the bodies came in to Andrews Air Force Base, I was actually in a state of shock at that time. I just found out less than 24 hours before about the loss of my son.
Did they talk to you though? Did they reach out? Did you ask what happened? Did they give you any explanation at that time?
Well, what happened there, we didn't even know that we were going to be there. All the families were there, and we were loaded on a bus. We were taken to Andrews Air Force Base, this large room, and we were just waiting there, and then all of a sudden these dignitaries started coming through: Colin Powell, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and then finally our president was gracious enough to take time out from his schedule and come and talk to each one of the families.
You're a lot more gracious than I think I would be, given the circumstances. I mean, I would be angry. I would be really, really mad because I can't get answers out of the administration. Why is it you think you can't get straight answers about information that they no doubt have on hand?
Well, I think it's the cover-up is very large. They're going to great extents to cover this up.
Why?
Well, I don't think it's just about the incompetence of Hillary Clinton. I don't think it's just about the White House refusing to go and rescue, which they always do. I think that there's other elephants in the room that they are trying to hide. You know, it's hard to say. As you know, I'm a retired attorney.
Yes, sir.
And probably the most commonly used anti-terrorist statute is at 18 U.S.C., U.S. Code 2339.
Yeah.
And that, as you're aware, makes it a 15-year felony for anyone, this applies to government officials as well, to provide or attempt to provide material assistance to a terrorist group. All of these groups were terrorist groups. You know, that may be one of the elephants that's in the room that they're trying to hide.
So you're suggesting that what was going on at the annex may have been an attempt to support some elements of what we would consider to be terrorist groups?
We already have been told that military assets were given to these terrorist groups when they were used to get rid of Mohammed Gaddafi.
Right.
And then also the reports are that these assets were repurchased from those same terrorist groups and sent to Syria to support other terrorist groups.
Is this why it took so long for the FBI to get in there?
Well, I can't speculate on that.
That they had to clean some stuff up?
I can't speculate on that. I really don't know.
Let me ask you, we the American people, you're one of them, although you obviously have a very, very specific interest in this story, but the American people watch these hearings that go on, and we see partisan politics being played out over the you know.
You're absolutely right.
And I wonder, what would you like Congress to do? Republicans are in charge of Congress right now. They have the power of the subpoena, and you're not getting any results through these investigations. And they're playing politics with the truth behind the death of your son.
Well, first of all, We need to know the truth. That's what the basis of our liberty is. We vote. And when we vote, we have to know what the truth is. And so far, we're not getting the truth. That's necessary for our liberty. And they should not withhold the truth under the guise of national security. The most important thing as far as our security is concerned is that we have liberty, and we cannot have liberty unless we are intelligent voters who have access to the truth.
Well, Mr. Woods, I just want to say that since hours after that attack, we've been asking questions on our program, and there are a small but dedicated group of reporters in this town that continue to pursue the story, and we're not going to give up. We want answers as well.
Well, we want answers, and unfortunately, it's been a year and a half now, and there's been 5 committees, but unfortunately, we really don't know anything more publicly from those committees than we did before. So what we need to know, and this is an answer to your question, is we need to have a select committee. And as you are aware, Frank Wolf, about a year ago,
Yes.
Kept asking for it.
Had him on
Yeah.
often on our show.
Right.
Yeah.
Frank Wolf is a man that I totally respect.
Yeah.
There are many good men back there.
His will be a voice that we miss in the Congress for sure.
And
on this issue.
And what we need to have is we need to have that select committee. There's only one person that's preventing that from happening, and that's John Boehner.
Speaker Boehner. That's
and
right.
if he were to give the go-ahead today and sign on to that, we would have that select committee tomorrow. And so my plea to John Boehner on behalf of the families as well as on behalf of Americans that need to know, Speaker Boehner, please authorize the special committee so that we can find out what the facts really are.
Well, we hope you get your request.
Thank you.
And you know what? If the answer is no, Speaker Boehner, you owe Charles Woods,
An explanation.
father of you owe him an explanation.
I think that eventually he will, and I hope that he does it soon.
Well, thank you again. Ty Woods, an unbelievable sacrifice was made in Benghazi
Right.
that night, and our heart goes out to you, Mr. Woods, for
Don't give
losing
up.
your son out there.
Don't give up.
Well, thank you very much for what you